The current App Store model is a digital distribution platform where developers can publish apps for consumers to download and use on their devices. App stores, typically managed by platform owners like Apple's App Store or Google Play Store, are intermediaries that provide reach to vast user bases, enforce app quality and security standards, and offer payment processing. In exchange, these platforms usually charge a commission on app sales and in-app purchases, often taking a 15–30% cut. This model has been lucrative for platform owners and pivotal in the mobile app ecosystem's growth by enabling developers access to a global market. The significance of this point becomes clear when considering the potential shift to a world without these fees. App Store fees have long been a contentious topic among developers, who argue that these charges eat into their profits, inflate prices for consumers, and stifle innovation. In a future where these fees are eliminated or significantly reduced, developers could have more financial freedom to reinvest in app development, potentially fostering more competitive and innovative digital products. This could democratize access for smaller developers who currently struggle with hefty commission fees, allowing them to compete on a more level playing field. A real-world example of the App Store fee model's impact can be seen in Epic Games' legal battle with Apple. Epic attempted to bypass Apple's payment system for its popular game Fortnite, highlighting developer frustration with high fees. Similarly, Spotify has also voiced strong criticism against App Store fees, arguing that they unfairly tax competitors to Apple's own services. These examples underscore the financial burden and competitive imbalance that current App Store fees can impose on businesses. However, opinions diverge on this issue. Proponents of the existing model argue that fees are essential for maintaining the infrastructure, security, and user trust that are hallmarks of these platforms. Conversely, critics claim that these costs hinder innovation and lead to higher prices for consumers, fostering a monopoly-like environment. Challenges associated with eliminating App Store fees include finding alternative revenue models for these platform providers, which could lead to new creative business strategies or, conversely, degrade the quality and security of available apps if proper funding mechanisms aren't in place. This discussion connects deeply to the broader topic of the future of mobile apps, as removing App Store fees could fundamentally alter the economics of app development and distribution. It would redefine how developers monetize apps and potentially lead to new, innovative distribution models outside traditional App Store ecosystems, reshaping the industry landscape. This evolution would inevitably affect consumers, developers, and platform owners, making it a crucial point of consideration in discussions about the mobile ecosystem's future. The concept introduced by the heading "The Future of Mobile Apps: A World Without App Store Fees" revolves around the notion of eliminating the fees that app developers must pay to App Store platforms, like Apple's App Store and Google Play, for hosting and selling their applications. Typically, these platforms charge a standard fee of 15% to 30% on app sales and in-app purchases, which has been a contentious issue within the developer community for years. The idea of a future without these fees suggests a shift towards a more equitable revenue model that benefits developers and consumers by potentially reducing costs for all parties involved. The significance of this concept is profound as it directly impacts the economics of app development and distribution. Eliminating App Store fees could democratize the mobile app ecosystem, reducing barriers for smaller developers and startups, which otherwise might struggle with the high cost of entry. This could foster a more diverse and innovative app market, as resources could be redirected towards development and consumer benefits rather than platform fees. A real-world application of this concept is the growing movement towards alternative app distribution platforms. For instance, Epic Games has sought to bypass traditional app stores by launching its own Epic Games Store, which charges developers only a 12% fee, significantly lower than the current industry standard. Additionally, platforms like the Progressive Web Apps, PWAs, allow developers to create apps that run directly through web browsers, completely circumventing the need for app stores and their fees. Supporters of this idea often argue that lowering or eliminating these fees could drive innovation and lower costs for consumers, leading to broader adoption of mobile apps. Elon Musk, for example, has voiced opinions against high App Store fees, likening them to a 30% tax on the internet. However, the potential challenges in this scenario include pushback from major App Store operators who argue that their fees are justified by the services they provide, such as security, marketing, and infrastructure. There's also concern about user safety and convenience when apps are not vetted through rigorous App Store procedures. Moreover, alternative viewpoints suggest that these fees are necessary to maintain the quality and security of apps available to consumers. This point connects to the broader topic by highlighting a pivotal shift that could redefine the business model of the mobile app industry. By potentially lowering the overall barrier to entry, it might spur wider innovation and competition, ultimately shaping the future landscape of mobile apps for both users and developers around the globe. The economic impact of eliminating App Store fees is a pivotal consideration when envisioning a future of mobile apps without these charges. App Store fees typically involve the commission rates imposed by platforms like Apple's App Store and Google Play Store, often up to 30% of an app's income. Eliminating these fees could significantly reshape the financial landscape for app developers and users alike. This point is crucial as it directly touches upon the broader theme of democratizing mobile app distribution, empowering developers, and potentially reducing costs for consumers. Removing App Store fees would enable small and medium-sized developers to retain a larger share of their revenue, fostering innovation and incentivizing creativity. For instance, a burgeoning startup developing revolutionary gaming apps could reinvest the saved 30% into further development, marketing, or customer engagement initiatives, bolstering its competitive edge. Additionally, subscription-based services, such as those offered by streaming platforms like Spotify, could pass on savings to consumers or enhance their service offerings, leading to increased customer satisfaction and loyalty. Supporters of this idea argue that eliminating App Store fees can level the playing field, allowing more diverse and niche applications to thrive without the financial burden. This democratization can drive a surge in quality and variety of mobile apps, enriching user experiences and fostering a more vibrant tech ecosystem. However, challenges, controversies, and alternative viewpoints inevitably arise. Critics may argue that App Store fees fund important infrastructure, including security, maintenance, and user support, and eliminating these fees without restructuring how these crucial services are financed could compromise platform integrity. Others caution about potential upheaval in the revenue models of established players heavily reliant on these fees. Moreover, some large corporations may lobby against such a change due to the significant revenue losses involved, creating a notable regulatory and industry challenge. This debate also touches on the broader issues of market control and antitrust actions in the tech industry, often intensifying the complexity of the discussion. This point of eliminating App Store fees connects deeply to other aspects of the main topic, as it could catalyze changes in how mobile applications are developed, marketed, and monetized. By rethinking these fees, the industry could unlock new paradigms of app distribution and usage, potentially leading to a more equitable and dynamic ecosystem that prioritizes innovation and accessibility over entrenched revenue models. A world without App Store fees envisions a future where developers can distribute their mobile applications without incurring the charges traditionally imposed by major platform providers like Apple and Google. Currently, these platforms charge developers a percentage, up to 30% of the revenue earned from app sales and in-app purchases. Removing these fees could open up significant opportunities for developers, potentially passing along savings to consumers and fostering increased innovation and diversity in app offerings. Understanding the significance of a fee-free environment is crucial. Currently, these fees can act as a barrier for small developers and startups who might struggle with thin profit margins. This often results in increased app prices or limits on feature development. By eliminating these fees, developers might direct more resources into enhancing their products, leading to a richer variety of apps and improved user experiences. Moreover, consumers could benefit from lower prices or free apps, potentially increasing app market dynamics and consumption. Consider the example of Epic Games, which took a public stance against App Store fees by suing Apple over its app marketplace policies. They argued that these fees stifle competition and innovation. Similarly, Spotify has criticized these fees, arguing they create an uneven playing field and disadvantage certain businesses, particularly those in subscription-based models. There are strong opinions supporting the idea of a world without App Store fees. Many developers, consumer rights activists, and policy influencers argue that such a shift could democratize digital marketplaces, promote fair competition, and lead to rapid technological advancements. However, challenges and controversies do exist. Critics argue that these fees support platform maintenance, including security, user acquisition, and payment systems, which are essential for a robust app ecosystem. Without them, platforms might need to implement alternative monetization methods, potentially leading to advertising overload or subscription fees for users. Moreover, this point influences broader discussions on digital marketplace regulations and antitrust activities. It feeds into ongoing debates about monopolistic behaviors by large tech companies and the need for regulatory interventions to ensure fair market practices and consumer protections. In summary, envisioning a future without App Store fees is both a challenge and an opportunity. It challenges existing business models and compels stakeholders to consider sustainable frameworks that prioritize both innovation and user satisfaction while ensuring a fair market structure that benefits developers and consumers alike.